I just think people need to realise that there's two people at the end of this, and there's a life lost, and there's a whole life that was supposed to be that's not going to be, and those people have feelings and emotions going everywhere. So the more sensitive people are, they don't need to solve the problem. They just need to be there, right, and to be aware of what's going on, to understand. Provide the support presence.
Madeline is my daughter and will always be my daughter, and I love her dearly. But I don't know very much about her. I know there are people who have lost children who have never gone on to have a baby themselves that they get to take home and love. And my heart goes out to them. We remember her, she's a part of our family, we talk about her with our other children, we have a cake on her birthday to remember her in a happy way. After she died, I started going into the room and writing in my journal in the rocking chair that I had bought to rock her in. It was a way of feeling close to her. I was, I ate everything I was supposed to eat. I ate things I didn't like because I was supposed to eat them. I did all the things that I was supposed to do. And yet it turned out in the worst possible way. I think that's every parent's worst nightmare, is that their child will die. After she was born, they dressed her in a lovely pair of sleepers and put this beautiful, hand knit cap on her head and brought her to us all wrapped up in a blanket. And she was just the most perfect, beautiful, lovely little baby girl you could ever imagine.
It wasn't just our loss, it was the whole family and friends, close friends, they lost too, so.
I remember the day of her funeral, actually, being so surprised that the world had gone on.
We've talked about this over the years, and I said, I don't know if I was a good listener before, and maybe someone would say I'm still not because I like to talk, but I learned to listen, and I learned to listen to Lisa. I learned to let her talk, and I stopped trying to solve her problems because I couldn't. It was a normal pregnancy in many ways, except the baby wasn't alive. So her breast milk was still coming in. So helping her with that needed to stop.
And that was unexpectedly painful in an emotional sense. Because your body doesn't know the baby died.
Your body doesn't know, it doesn't care.
We were still happy to have had as much of her as we had. It wasn't enough, but we had still had more of her than some people get to have with their children. We know people who have lost children at much earlier stages. I did end up going and finding a counselor, someone to talk to, because I needed that. He was wonderful. I would not be where I am today without him. But there were things I needed help with that even he could not give. Because everyone that I could turn to, my mother, my husband, my sister, my friends, they were so sad for me that I, at times, held back in what I wanted to say because I didn't want to make them more sad. The grief that a dad goes through is no less heart-wrenching than that of the mother. It's just, it's different. Everyone's grief is different. He knew, just by observation, things that I needed, just by caring enough to pay attention. And being able to do that, even in spite of his own grief. And those things, her hat and her sleepers and her blanket, are as precious to you as they are to me. They're not just my treasures, they're his treasures, and they're...
I think it's a very individual process to grieve, right? And if you can be patient with each other and with yourself and understand that there's no right or wrong way to grieve.
I think the language is really important. This is somebody's baby. This is their child. This is how they look at that. This is not, I don't care what the medical terminology for a baby that has not yet been born is. That doesn't interest me at all. This is my child and this is my baby. And if you refer to it as something other than that, then that's going to be really hurtful. Every experience we have in life changes us in some way, sometimes in small ways and sometimes in big ways. And this experience has changed who I am. You begin to become a new person a little tiny bit at a time. It's not big steps, it's small steps, and it's over long periods of time that it happens.
So I just the strongest message I'd give anyone is that it becomes part of your life, but you learn how to deal with it. But I never lost who I was, and nor did she, and as a couple we didn't lose who we were.
I didn't know I could live with that much pain. I thought that it would kill me. I didn't know that I could survive. I have survived what I thought would be the very worst thing that could ever happen to me. And I came out the other side. And that's possible for other people as well.
Because a lot of people deal with this and people don't even know about it and they don't talk about it. But there's the willingness to accept it and go through it and say, it's really dark today, well maybe tomorrow it won't be as dark. You're into something here. You gotta keep walking, you gotta keep somehow moving forward, somehow pushing, somehow getting to the next day and the next. Eventually that day turns into a week and a month and a year, and life gets a bit more normal and you go back to a better place.